कि हम नहीं कहते हमारे माता पिता ने क्या किया। नहीं कहते तो ना शुक्र है, आपके माता पिता ने आपको इस काबिल बनाया कि आज आप लोकसभा में हैं।
फादर मदर को छोड़ के कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं, माँ बाप मत निकालिए। Sir, I stand here to participate on behalf of the NCP on this debate on the budget for Jammu Kashmir. I would just humbly ask the Honorable Finance Minister as a request, this is not about right or wrong, but deeply all of us are very proud Indians and very committed to every state which is going through a difficult and a challenging time, and Jammu Kashmir being one of them. And when we are debating such an important discussion of a budget of such an important state, if you gave us 24 hours in the future, I hope we don't have to discuss it again. You will take elections soon there, so it will be discussed in their own assembly. But if such circumstances do occur, we would appreciate if you gave us a little more time so that we could have more extensive debate, is a humble request. I would want to speak only on the budget, but I'm too tempted to reply to Shri Jitendra Singh, the Honorable Minister. I do understand he comes from the state, he's lived there, he's born and brought up there. But like most Indians, for us, Kashmir is a dream holiday. I went to Jammu several times because my mother is very God-loving and she's taken me to Vaishnav Devi several times with her. And as a family, we didn't go abroad in those days. We traveled in India, and Kashmir being the best holiday. अगर इस देश में स्वर्ग या जन्नत कही है तो वो कश्मीर में है. So मैं जब से छोटी थी कश्मीर में बहुत बार जा चुकी हूँ. So it was very interesting because I also happened to go with my family. I was not privileged enough to go on any committee to Kashmir, but I did go with my husband and my daughter to Srinagar. And there are few observations I would like to bring to his notice. I met the person who runs the Delhi public school there. It's Mr. Dhar's family which runs, who happened to be Kashmiri Pandit, and I was not going to make this an issue of Pandits or locals, but since he specifically spoke so much about them, I would like to bring something to his notice. He talked so much that this government wants to do so much for Kashmiri Pandits and so much injustice is done to them. I want to ask him pointed questions to the Honorable Minister Jitendra Singh, that this Delhi public school schools 5,000 children there. Even through the extended challenging times, one family who did not leave, fought, survived and ran a school was no government agency. It was this Dhar family which ran Delhi public school. They had attacks, they run their own buses, and today what is this government doing to them? Sending notices after notices. They are questioning them on who their teachers are, sending them notices on some fee structure, whether it's run efficiently. So is this how you are helping Kashmiri Pandits who really stuck it out with you? Is this the justice that Mr. Jitendra Singh was talking about, Kashmiri Pandits, that he is feeling the pain for? He doesn't feel pain for these 5,000 children who are studying there today and the teachers who are studying there.
They also run specially abled children's school inside that campus.
I'm so glad, Mehtab ji. Thank you very much.
Yes.
This is one school which has they accommodate children with special needs. And this is how this government wants to treat them. Is this their love for Kashmiri Pandits? Is it only limited to what happened 70 years ago? These things happened before even I was born. How many years are you going to be a prisoner of the past and blame somebody else? Agar mere father ne mujhe aur padhayega to main Harvard geti. Because obviously they don't read Vedant. Could, would, should are all given. Thoda sa Vedant padhiye aap. Stop being a prisoner, live in the moment and go ahead. What are we going to do as Indians for our Kashmiri Pandits and people of Kashmir today and for their future is what we are debating in this budget, and I think that's what this budget document is about. He talked about so much about corruption. I'm glad he did. Who doesn't want a corruption-free environment? Satpal Malik, not by us. It was your governor. He was the one who made an allegation. 200 करोड़ रुपया का allegation कुछ फाइल का चक्कर था. मैं नहीं कह रही हूँ सर. ये सतपाल मलिक जी कह रहे थे. सबने पढ़ा है, देश ने पढ़ा है. So what about that corruption after all these wonderful changes you have made? It's so easy to sit on one side, sir, and criticize somebody. Really, why don't you go and see what the ground reality of Jammu Kashmir is today? How many hotels have you built? Today, the Honorable Tourism Minister, all hotels are full. How many new hotels have you built? How many roads have you built? I've been to Srinagar all my life. I've been to Pahalgam. Nothing has changed. It's the same beautiful, simple people of Jammu Kashmir who I met for years and years and years. So what big interventions has your government make, I want to ask him. And funnily enough, I want to bring something to his notice. Manoj Nanavre, Chief of Staff, Mr. Paul, Divisional Commissioner Srinagar, Mahesh Dikshit, IB Chief, Major General Sanjay Vishwarao, Anand Jain, Burampur IPS NCF Chief, Sanjay Nahar, who works with all the children from Kashmir, are all Jai Maharashtra. All people from Maharashtra who are today based in Srinagar. We don't think about you versus us. We all are Indians. So when you make such serious allegations to other people in this history, it's so unfortunate.
Who said that?
No, I'm not yielding now. You missed my first speech, which I was asking you for.
I am as much Maharashtrian as you are, Adogra.
Well, I'm glad you are, but then I don't bring up the history and say, oh, Atalji ne acha kiya ya galat kiya. You have forgotten Atalji, I haven't. Because he was a great leader who had, I'm not
Honorable
yielding.
Speaker, I heard her saying some time back कि हम नहीं कहते हमारे माता पिता ने क्या किया. नहीं कहते तो ना शुक्र है आपके माता पिता ने आपको इस काबिल बनाया कि आज आप लोकसभा में हैं. ऐसा नहीं कहिए. We can't forget what we have got or not got from माता पिता.
Yes.
आप भी तो यहाँ माता पिता की वजह से पहुंची हैं.
Please continue.
मैंने तो डायनेस्टी को कभी नहीं कहा, मैंने तो अच्छा ही बोला है हमारी डायनेस्टी, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. डॉक्टर का बेटा डॉक्टर हो तो आपको चल जाता है, हमारे में क्या दिक्कत है आपको? अभी छोड़ दीजिए. फादर मदर को छोड़ के कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं, माँ बाप मत निकालिए.
It's not easy to get over the legacy. That is what I'm saying. Legacy of a nation, legacy of a country, legacy of a society. That's not nothing personal. But you only referred, so I think that's besides the point.
For a reason, because you referred to a story about Kashmiri Pandits. So I was just bringing to the notice of the, unfortunately you were not here, about a Delhi public school which is in Srinagar, which schools 5,000 children, and what that family is going through. Mehtab ji was very kind enough to even add a point that children with special needs are doing. I'm just bringing to the kind notice of this government of what a Kashmiri Pandit has contributed to Jammu Kashmir. 5,000 children, Indian children are taught there, and how much suffering in policy and trouble the education department, there's no specific, is giving to them, unfortunately. So
She's informing an important matter in the house.
I'm only trying to help somebody's child.
And also draw your
I don't care
attention
about
also.
everybody's children. I'm very proud of my parents. I have no problem with my lineage. Anyway, so that's not what we are doing. We're not discussing where I was born.
Please sit down, please.
So
This
I'm glad, proud. So am I. Very good. The other thing I was
Why you are disturbing? No, Supriya ji is making a good speech. Why you are disturbing?
Anyway,
Please.
Honours, what I wanted to talk was seriously more about the budget. I was not going to bring in, but since he had this, I really felt, because I have visited that school. Even during challenging times, I've seen how the Dhar families pained and what all they and their teachers have contributed for education. It's something that really deserves an award and recognition in this country.